Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line as he does every Friday on the show. His name is Mike Reyes. He works with movies and clay and Cinemablend.com. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well, but the clay is kind of new, so I'm still feeling my way around it. But, it seems to be working.
I know, in that new house, you have your clay corner where you just have the little turntable there and your little animal figurines and your vases.
Unchained Melodies just playing on a loop and just, making the magic, man.
This week on the show, we've got a lot to get to. Just one big movie trailer and then some really interesting news and a few cool trailers. Let's start with it. The big movie this week is Avatar: The Way of Water. Is it? Yeah, right? Way of Water?
Yeah, Avatar: The Way of Water. 13 years later, we have co-writer, director, and some would say visionary. I would definitely say visionary, especially with a lot of the tech stuff he's put through. James Cameron returning to the world of Pandora, as people have wanted for some time. The tires are being kicked and the engines are being lit for at least 3 sequels, starting with this one.
I was going to say, there's like a
plan.
plan.
4. At least 4.
I was going to say, there's like a plan for like 15 more of these movies, right?
Okay, so technically, 4, they're up to 5 on the books.
Okay.
And then he's even said he may not direct all of them. And he's also said recently, I've got ideas for 6 and 7. I think I'm going to have to train a director to really take over when I stop making these, because not everyone's trained to make this. So, yeah, it's basically on paper, we are scheduled until 2028 with a new movie every 2 years.
Oh, wow. All right, so let's dive into this. What did you think of it?
It's okay.
I was waiting for that, actually. I really was.
Really? On one hand, I'm glad I didn't disappoint, but on the other hand, I maybe I should have just drawn it out a little more.
No, I think it's one of those things with this series of movies. I thought it was going to be kind of like The Matrix, where everybody was really fired up for the second one, and it just didn't do what they thought it was going to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they went into The Matrix and they really didn't have a sequel in mind.
Yeah.
Whereas Avatar, I think James Cameron probably had so much in mind and he was just waiting for that first one to hit.
So the first one, very groundbreaking and all the stuff it did. You've told me off the air that this movie is very beautiful and whatnot. Tell us a little bit more about it.
So story-wise, I don't even know how much time passes, because there's only one 1 year later title card that goes up in the middle of the first act, because they kind of have this whole prologue in the movie where you learn more about, Jake and Neytiri are married, they have a family, they have I think 4 kids, and 2 of them are adopted, and they've been living together peacefully, and then the Sky People have come back, and this time they've brought fire and new weapons, and Carmela Soprano, because Edie Falco plays one of the generals in charge, and that's one complaint I do definitely have about the movie. Not enough Edie Falco being this interesting character I wanted to learn more about, but that's probably because Avatar: The Way of Water is much like The Matrix. This is a very expensive teaser trailer for Avatar 3, whatever it may be called. The rumored title being The Seed Bearer. And good luck explaining to me why it would be called that. But anyway, the movie's okay. It's still absolutely beautiful. I've seen it twice in 3D now. And that in itself is a feat, because, they're four-walling this thing with all the critic screenings being in 3D. They're advertising this movie in 3D, and we have not seen something like that happen since a good long while. And the 3D is gorgeous, but there are some drawbacks with they have high frame rate sequences in here, and the high frame rate's not as polished as I would want it to be. It's not I think they should have went the full 120, but they top out at 60. But we're not going to dive too much into that nerdy stuff. But
okay.
Story-wise, it's an Avatar movie. This movie is as open and as upfront with its message and its characters as it was in the first one. It honestly, you take a look at the script and the story to this, it feels like you're still back in 2009, 2010. It's very much. I sort of boiled it down to an equation. Avatar is what happens when the Iraq War is fought by Lockheed Martin and the Rainforest Cafe.
Okay.
That's basically what Avatar is. Like, full stop. Like, everyone likes to go to the Dances with Wolves and the Pocahontas comparisons. This is Lockheed Martin fighting the Rainforest Cafe.
All right, I get it. So I was gonna say, what else are you gonna do with this story? You know, where else does it go? Where is it gonna be? You know, groundbreaking, that sort of thing.
The story was never groundbreaking.
Well,
the story was never going to be groundbreaking. It's the technology that gets groundbreaking. And honestly, that's part of the reason why I'll keep watching this franchise. The other is Stephen Lang just continues to be one of my favorite movie villains, and he's an absolute heel. And you're not supposed to like this character, but I had so much fun watching him and his Marines on screen. And it's just, man, I'm not going to go into, well, I think it's out there how he comes back, because he basically comes back as, like, they call them recombinants. And it's basically, hey, we're going to take the consciousness of these Marines that were dead in Avatar 1, and we're going to upload them into these Na'vi bodies we've been growing, so we can, like, send them over to Pandora and wreck up.
It's I was telling you the other day, it's basically the sixth day.
Yeah, it kind of is the sixth day. Yeah. Oh, and then, of course, even though it's not the best comeback, the way that he delivers that line to Tony Golden where he's like, you should clone yourself so you can go yourself. Like, that's just pure Arnold. It doesn't have to be the best. It just has to be Arnold.
Oh, that's actually a really good way of saying that, actually. So, all right, well, I kind of figured that's what this is going to be. I mean, when the weekend is over, do you think people are going to be like, yeah, it's okay? Or do you think they'll still be kind of in that almost cult of, oh, this is the greatest movie ever, and if you don't like it, we don't see you?
Oh, that was perfect.
I do what I can sometimes.
I honestly don't know, because of the fact that even critics and like awards, this is getting a lot of awards push. Critics have been really blown away by this. I honestly, like, if you are a fan of Avatar 1, then this is more candy in your pocket. This is going to be, I think, if people are still that hyped about Avatar, it is going to meet their hype. If you don't have the story problems and you just really want the next chapter and then to get hyped for at least 3 more after this, I think people will walk away from it being happy if they were happy with the first one. And to note, I actually like this movie better than Avatar 1. There's even like a whole section of this movie where they introduce this new creature called the Tolkun, which is like a space whale. And they're beautiful things, and like these gorgeous creatures and this wonderful underwater photography, and it does look great, and those whales are awesome. But the movie itself doesn't justify, like, there's like a whole part in the middle where we're not seeing our villains. It's just nature, and it's like, that's kind of what I wanted this. Like, I would have loved Avatar if it was like a faux David Attenborough documentary where you're taking us through the planet, showing us these creatures, showing them the ecosystems at work. Like, that's the type of thing I really want. Obviously, that's not what you get from the director of Aliens and Titanic.
All right, a couple of things here. I was just going through Wikipedia because I was looking at the critical response, and then I saw, first question, how does a movie that hasn't opened yet get nominated for so many awards?
Oh, you're asking me an industry question, and I can answer this with authority.
Just real quick, the quick version of it.
Well, there's a quick version. The quick version is they screen the damn thing they screen it in advance for critics, and they screen it close to the deadlines. In one case, I met up with a guy at the New York screening that said his critics body pushed their deadline to accommodate Avatar for potential nominations.
Huh.
So what happened was, like, end of November, an email will go out from like a critics association that says, look, for voting purposes, here's all the screenings that we're going to be doing on this day in these markets. Here's the people you need to talk to. Get out to that screening.
Okay.
And I remember I tried to slot myself into the Philly screening, and they're like, this is only for critics boards. This is not for movie critics. So
well,
it was
you.
No, I understand that. They really want to get as many voters as possible into those early screenings. And since the review embargo was set so late, they didn't have to worry too much about having to get like actual reviewers in there. They just wanted to make sure that the voters got to watch the movie and got to consider it. So
yeah, I just saw.
Short answer is
okay. I get. That makes sense. I just saw one where it's like, for the Hollywood Music and Media Awards, November 16th. Like, it had already won an award. It's like, how the is that even possible?
Now, that is probably an award for something. I'm wondering if that's like best trailer or best trailer music or something to do with the marketing, because that's way too early. I don't think they were showing movies to, they're not showing movies to boards that early.
Okay. All right. The other thing I just saw a quote from a different critic, Mike LaSalle from the San Francisco Chronicle. It's a 1 hour story rattling around in a 192-minute bag.
Yeah, it kind of is. Like, someone else was even more generous and said it's a 2 hour movie in a 3 hour package, or like it was like a 2 hour movie. Yeah, but that basically is what this film is. There's a lot of beauty and a lot of farting around with nature, and Jake Sully gets to be a wimp in this movie, but we'll talk about that later. What happened?
That should be your quote about this. It's a lot of farting around with nature. Avatar 2, The Way of Water, just farting around with nature.
That would be pretty good in a poster. And the brand new Avatar font, because they don't use papyrus anymore because of SNL, I'm sure. You ever see that sketch?
No.
There's a whole sketch with when Ryan Gosling guest starred where he's talking about how they used the font papyrus for the Avatar logo.
Oh.
The old Avatar logo.
The only thing I remember with him is the alien abduction skits.
Oh, the Kate McKinnon one?
Yeah, oh my, and he's trying not to laugh. That's so funny. Anyway, okay, that's a different topic for a different time. All right, so Avatar 2 is okay.
Put Kate McKinnon in the Avatar movies.
There you go. That could be interesting. Doing that part about getting abducted.
Just take her character from the alien abduction sketches
and make her a Na'vi.
Her dropped on Pandora.
Make her a Na'vi.
Oh, she gets an Avatar. Wow, this is nice. Oh, we need to make that happen.
Oh, that'd be pretty funny. All right, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line to talk about Avatar 2. Over in the world of movie news and trailer, we were going to talk about a couple trailers first, but some big news came out last night, something we've been kind of talking about for the last couple weeks. Henry Cavill had a small announcement, and it really wasn't a small announcement. Long story short, after a very well-worded response that he put up on social media, he's not going to be the next Superman.
Well, he's not coming back as Superman.
No.
But, no matter how you slice it. First of all, I feel like he writes these things. I feel like he writes them himself.
Yeah, he's a nerd.
He writes them because he is a nerd. He's our nerd.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's not a bad thing. It's just he's a nerd and he knows how to do this stuff.
I know. I just want to claim him because some people, they like have a nerdy persona or maybe swim in these circles of nerd. But then you have people like Henry Cavill and Joe Manganiello who are like deep, hardcore nerds. And it's like, I want to hang out with you.
I want to
learn Warhammer. I want to learn Warhammer from Henry friggin' Cavill. But anyway, Henry Cavill had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran from DC Films, co-CEOs. And as a result, they've not only announced that Henry Cavill will not be back as Superman, as promised in Black Adam and promised on social media, but there's also going to be a new Superman movie where it's, I think, another origin or young Superman story that will be written by James Gunn himself. And another side note from that meeting is they are apparently looking to get Ben Affleck to direct a DC project for them.
So, sad news, but you know what? You kind of... I think it was one of those things that you kind of saw the writing on the wall with, not redoing Wonder Woman. They putting out... the James Gunn's response that we talked about last week where it's like, hey, we don't know everything yet. Like, you kind of got a feeling that, we're starting over. Right?
Potentially. And I just have to say, James Gunn, as co-CEO of DC Films, I love how he's actually been going on social media, going on Twitter, and talking about certain rumors, certain things.
Yeah.
He's debunking and confirming, or, he's clarifying left and right. And I've seen other people comment about how good of how wonderfully transparent that is. I totally agree with that. The dude is a fan first and foremost. The dude is a fan who realizes that I think he feels like he's still in like the magic machine, the candy store right now. But who also understands that, okay, he doesn't have to tell us everything he's doing yet. He understands that there's a time and a place for certain things. But if there's a rumor that he sees that's just total bull, he's like, no, wrong. No, that's not it. But in a nicer way. But I like that he takes the time to do that.
Yeah.
Because in our business, we're very speculative. We'll report on things when we get like, an inside source says. And, that helps keep the wheels turning because it's something to talk about. He's just making our job that much easier and giving us that much more to talk about when he says, no, that's false. I don't know about that. We don't know that. That's half true. That's not true. Like he's not trying to stop people from writing about rumors. He's just trying to make sure that they don't grow too big. And that the truth is out there.
It's kind of a different take than Marvel, where Marvel always had to make everything as secret as possible.
Yeah. I mean, he's still maintaining secrecy. Like, he's not coming out and saying, oh, by the way, since Henry Cavill's gone, we cast, people are saying Austin Butler might be the next Superman.
Good times. Anyways, back to Henry. I'm actually kind of happy with this because I thought, wow, that opens up a few doors. If he's not working with DC, he's got a chance to maybe follow through on that whole Doctor Doom thing. Maybe he ends up in Star Wars. Maybe he's the next James Bond.
I mean, let's face it, dude has been busy and stacking project on his plate like The Rock's cheat day waffles. So to see him have a little more slack taken off, it is good. Because the man's fantastic. He's still been keeping busy. So it's not like his career came to a halt because they stopped making Superman movies.
Yeah, no, it's I'm A-okay with it's too bad because I do think he makes a great Superman, but like the possibilities of seeing him in other things now, okay, does he return to The Witcher?
Oh, I doubt that, because if the reports were true, he didn't leave to be Superman. He left because the writers have such contempt for the source material that he's like, I'm done with this.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
That's what some reports have said. Some reports have said that he left Witcher because they just did not care about the source material, and he's there like obviously invested in The Witcher. And then they're like, no, this, and he's like, but this, and they're like, no, this, and finally he was just like, okay, whatever, man. Liam, you can deal with him.
He's the ultimate. Well, that's not how they did it in the comic book.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if you cast Vin Diesel in a Dungeons or if you cast Joe Manganiello even in a Dungeons and Dragons movie, and it's like, no, wait, this is totally wrong for this class. No, I'm out.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be looking forward to see what he does from here on out. I think he's going to land somewhere big, and I really do. I really like the idea of him as Doctor Doom. I know that was just.
I do as well.
I know that was just a weird internet rumor type thing, but I just think he'd be great in that role.
I think he'd be fantastic as well, and to see him play a heel and to play such a well-powered heel, that would be. You could really dig, if you wanted to, you could really just dig into political thriller or like a political drama aspect and just show Doom as like the lot. He comes from where does he go? Where's Doom from?
Latveria or something like that.
Oh, I was going to say Latveria and I wasn't sure, but you could just see him like dealing with the Latverian politics, and I would love to see just like you're following this cruel dictator trying to keep this island under his thumb. And, that may not be a typical Marvel movie.
Latveria.
Henry Cavill's charisma. Latveria. With Henry Cavill's charisma and with the right people directing and writing, I think that would be great. Also, Man from U.N.C.L.E. 2 is something that could still happen.
Okay.
You just recast Armie Hammer with Nicholas Hoult and you're done.
Perfect. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line to talk about movies. We'll wrap up this week. A couple really cool trailers came out. One, we got our second really good look at Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the continuation of the animated movie, which, you know what? It could be the best Spider-Man movie so far.
I think Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie so far. And Across the Spider-Verse looks like it's just going to continue bringing us into that beauty.
Not a lot. We don't get a lot of story in here. We get a view of, kind of the Spider-Verse and all the different there's about 10 million different videos out on YouTube right now of breaking down every Spider-Man that's in it. There were some interesting ones.
Yeah, like you were telling me the PS4 Spider-Man being in there, and then it's rumored that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man might be in there. And then, of course, we're introduced to, we see Issa Rae's Spider-Woman in this trailer. We see a small look at Peter B. Parker wearing a baby Bjorn, and I noticed that, and it's like, whoa, where's the baby? Show me the baby. And then apparently there's concept art online where you see cute little redheaded daughter named Mayday. Yeah. Which is adorable. And then Daniel Kaluuya's Spider-Punk has been shown in concept art as well. We get a little more of Oscar Isaac's Spider-Man 2099, who's trying to beat Miles Morales in a pace, apparently. And, there's an all-out spider brawl in this trailer. So, folks, if you haven't watched this already and you want that, Saturday morning cereal sugar high, go watch this trailer. Go watch it now. Well, not now, after the show.
Yeah. A couple other interesting ones that are in there. There's a real quick, there was a Superior Spider-Man in there, the Doc Ock one. Did you ever read that comic?
No, but the idea itself has put it on my list.
For those of you who may not know what Superior Spider-Man was, there's a year-long comic series, about a year or so, where Doc Ock switches bodies with Spider-Man. And it's Doc Ock as Spider-Man becoming the Superior Spider-Man, and he becomes evil and blah, blah, blah. Or he tries to do good, but it doesn't work right. So
see, the way you're describing this, even if they never adapt it, I just want an audio version with Alfred Molina reading it.
That could be cool. That could be very cool. So
because I want to hear his Peter Parker voice, and then of course his Otto Octavius voice.
The other thing that came out, kind of Spider-Man related, and it kind of goes with this because Gwen Stacy's Spider-Gwen is in here, The blonde girl from Wednesday, there's been a big thing this week about having her be the live-action Gwen Stacy.
And honestly, I do not hate that suggestion.
No, she looks the part, and she seems like she could be quirky enough to kind of fit into that spider world.
Yeah, I'm trying to find her name because we should be naming this young actress or actor.
The blonde girl from Wednesday.
Wow. Emma Myers from Wednesday. I honestly, before you even told me, if you had just mentioned Spider-Gwen and showed me a picture of her, I would have sworn that she was pulled out of Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Because she looks so close to the rendering of Gwen in Into the Spider-Verse that's one-for-one physical casting.
Yeah.
This girl is pulled out of a comic book. This woman is pulled out of a comic book. She's a young woman.
She's 20.
But what happened?
I just saw her age. She's 20.
It's still amazing how some actors are so easily play younger. Especially on something like Wednesday, her and Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
Where it's they're supposed to be in their teens, but obviously they're early 20s. And it's not like the Dawson's Creek syndrome anymore, where it's oh, we're 30 playing 15.
Very much so, very much so. I think she'd be a great casting. I think she's got a lot of good energy. I think, like I said, I think she's quirky enough to do it, and she has the look. So
yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a seal of approval here, folks, you got it.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. Last trailer we want to talk about. A new Adam Driver movie came out, or hasn't come out yet, but the trailer came out for him. It's called 65, isn't it?
Yes, it's called 65. And before we go any further, just two things. One that minorly annoys me is the fact that the poster has 65, and then under it is the tagline. It's million years ago, blah, 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 blah. But you depend on that title sitting there for that to make sense. You take out the title and it's million years ago, and it's you want to fire a copy editor for that. So that's one thing. And then, of course, you got everybody thinking that the 5 is a 9 and making jokes. I approve of those jokes. They're funny. The logo does kind of look weird. But pushing all that aside, what did you think of this trailer?
For the people who haven't seen it, it's basically they dropped Adam Driver into the prehistoric world with future technology.
Yeah, it sounds like a Planet of the Apes scenario where he's shepherding colonists to some world, and he crash lands on prehistoric Earth.
So it's the beginning of Pitch Black.
Some sort of meets Planet of the Apes, because it sounds like he went through some sort of time vortex or time displacement.
So is he on Earth then?
I think he's on Earth. I think he's on prehistoric Earth.
Okay.
I mean, don't quote me. I could totally be wrong, but that seems to be the impression that I'm getting.
All right. Well, anyway, it's Adam Driver fighting dinosaurs. I mean, what more do you need?
True. Oh, what I do need is a clip of someone taking Kylo Ren yelling, "Shoot that piece of junk out of the sky!" And then you see his ship like breaking apart and like ready to crash, and then Adam Driver strapping in.
There you go.
Because Adam Driver just tried to kill Adam Driver.
You know what I like about it, and it's gonna sound kind of weird. Not really weird, but
what?
I like when ex-military do movies with, like firearms and stuff, because they're doing it right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like every time he holds a weapon in this, or a rifle or whatever, like it looks like a dude that knows what he's doing.
Yes, and to the folks at home that may not know this or may not remember this, Adam Driver did serve as a Marine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that really is cool to see that. Even if the actor isn't former military, when you get someone like Dale Dye, who's like this legendary military advisor that served on movies like Saving Private Ryan, and he had small parts in like Outbreak and Mission Impossible. When you get someone that really knows their shit and teaches the actors well, that goes so far.
Or Keanu Reeves is another good example.
Yes. Oh, because of the training that dude went through,
and the training video.
I love it.
If you've never seen Keanu Reeves on the shooting range there's one of the courses he's doing, and he uses multiple different weapons. Like, he's really good. Yeah,
just like the dude is as peaceful and as nice as they come. But then you watch him on that course, and it's like, yeah, it was no mistake that they picked him to be John Wick. That Matrix muscle memory is still strong with him.
Absolutely. All right. Well, with that, the movie looks awesome. So I'll put both these trailers up on the site with the full show here. But Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com. There's only one thing I want to wrap up with today.
Ooh,
and it does have to do with dinosaurs. Or dinosaur.
I mean, you're speaking my language here.
Do you have your phone
now
quick?
I feel insulted. You're on my phone right now.
Or no, I did send it to you. I believe. Hold on.
More realistic looking Jurassic Park dinosaurs?
No, the T-Rex picking up Thor's hammer.
Oh, the Avengers Endgame? I just saw the Ultron one.
The Ultron one is really funny.
For those of you who are not telepathically endowed, B-sox just sent me a video where it's the scene in Age of Ultron where he sees the whole history of whatever Vision is showing him, but it's just the entirety of Shrek.
It's really funny.
Okay, last time I buy a bootleg DVD.
Here we go, everybody. This is gonna be awesome. Just wait.
Of course, Roberta the Tyrannosaur would be worthy. Oh yeah, that is an old video that someone just put on their TV.
Oh, okay.
Oh, a little more. No, there's more. Oh, done. Thanos is decapitated by Tyrannosaur. Done. Tony Stark lives. Oh my God, why did we not see it? It was right there. It was right there in front of us.
Oh, it's so funny. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joins me every week on the show to talk about movies. Mike, you have yourself a good weekend.
You as well, man. And have fun swimming in the way of water, folks.